Here we begin this morning with that January 6th hearing later today and the new claim this morning that former President Trump allegedly ordered classified documents to be moved in his Mar-a-Lago residence after he received a subpoena to return them.
A source tells NBC News that a Trump employee revealed this new information to the FBI and that the FBI has surveillance footage showing people moving boxes out of a storage room at the estate. And this morning, a spokesperson for Trump is firing back, saying in part, the Biden administration has weaponized law enforcement and fabricated a document hoax in a desperate attempt to retain political power. And just hours from now, the January 6th committee will hold what will likely be its final hearing before the midterm elections. The members are expected to reveal new material about former President Donald Trump's attempts to overturn the 2020 election and any possible involvement he may have had in the attack on the Capitol.
It will be worth watching. There's some new material that, I found as we got into it pretty surprising.
And we're going to dig into all of this, including what we can expect in the hearings today. We have Capitol Hill correspondent Ali Rafa and Chuck Rosenberg, a former U.S. attorney and senior FBI official, here with us to talk about all of this.
That's right. Good morning to both of you. And Ali, I'll start with you because this hearing is coming at a crucial time. Of course, this is just weeks before the midterm elections that could determine the balance of power here. What can we expect today?
Yeah, good morning, Savannah. We expect this hearing to be a sort of closing argument in some sense, in the investigative sense by this committee. But we don't think it'll be the last hearing that we see presented by them. Some members have hinted that there could be another one that'll go along with this eventual report that they submit. But as far as today, we don't expect any live witnesses like we've seen in past hearings. And we expect each committee member to have their turn sort of presenting each bucket that we've already seen presenting, but adding more meat to the bone of each one with new information that they've gathered since late July, since the last time we saw this committee together. Committee aides say to expect some of the same witnesses in past hearings, but some new clips, new information that they'll be presenting. Expect new Secret Service information. Remember, one key missing piece when we last saw this committee gather were the Secret Service text messages they were so eagerly trying to get their hands on. Our own Julia Ainsley reporting that they have gathered more than 1 million pieces of evidence from the Secret Service in the form of Microsoft Teams chats, radio transcriptions on and after January 6th. So that's definitely something that we can expect to see in today's hearing. Also, we expect some documentary footage of Roger Stone to be presented, showing that he was talking about the election being stolen before any Americans even went to the polls. So this is all part of the committee's effort to really show that the threat to democracy that we saw on January 6th continues to be a threat today, especially in these last few, actually less than 4 weeks now until the midterm elections.
And Chuck, let's get to you in this new information that Ali just mentioned in the Mar-a-Lago search. How could this affect the ongoing criminal investigation?
Yeah, it's a great question, Kathy. So in a criminal case, motive is not required. Prosecutors never have to prove motive, but they always have to prove intent. And so if Mr. Trump and his team received a grand jury subpoena calling for documents, and right after receiving the subpoena, he ordered a staffer to move this stuff from the, let's say, the storage room in the basement to his private residence or to his office, that's proof of intent. Now, there's other things prosecutors, investigators need to tie up. They would need to show, for instance, that Mr. Trump knew that a subpoena had been received and what it called for. But witnesses like this, the folks who were ordered to move stuff, are really important links in the chain. And so this is why you do investigations. You talk to the people around Mr. Trump to figure out what it was he knew and what it was he intended. And again, you have to prove intent. So this is precisely why this type of evidence is so helpful to prosecutors and to agents.
Absolutely. Ali, I also want to ask specifically about Ginny Thomas, wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. The committee recently interviewed her, and we know that's because she sent emails to Trump Chief of Staff Mark Meadows and elected officials about undermining the election results. Do we know yet what she told the committee, and do we know how her testimony could play out in today's hearing?
Yes, Savannah, not only did she communicate with former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, we know she was also in communication with John Eastman, Trump's attorney, who is largely credited with the pressure campaign against the former vice president to get him to unilaterally change the results of the election on January 6th. We know that when she did speak with the committee said that she answered all of their questions voluntarily. She told them that she still believes that the election was stolen, that Donald Trump should have been the president. She also said that she didn't share any of her communications with Mark Meadows or John Eastman with her husband, Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. But we know that she wasn't physically there on January 6th. The extent of her knowledge about really what was planned that day is still pretty vague. So that's something that we're going to keep very close attention on today, because she was really one of several people that the committee has spoken with in these last few weeks. We know that they'd also spoken with former Trump administration officials as well as Ginny Thomas. So that's definitely something we're keeping an eye on today, Savannah.
And Chuck, we are counting down the hours for this new information that we will hear today in the January 6th hearing. And what role will that play in establishing Trump's legal culpability of the January 6th riots? And what would the committee need to prove in order for potential charges to come from this new info?
Well, Kathy, keep in mind one important distinction between the authority of the committee and the authority of the Department of Justice, right? The committee doesn't have criminal enforcement mechanisms. They can't charge anybody with anything, regardless of what they uncover. That function, that duty, that authority resides in the Department of Justice. And so I think the committee has done a very good job, made a very compelling case. It's been linear and cogent and impactful. But charges would have to come from the Department of Justice. And I presume, and I think this is right, that the Department of Justice has as much, if not way more information than the committee does. The Department of Justice is focusing on those things we talked about earlier, like intent. And so while the committee's presentation is interesting, they're not going to be able to charge anyone with anything. We have to look to the Department of Justice for that. That's where the authority resides.
Chuck and Allie, thank you so much for kicking us off this morning as we look ahead to later this afternoon. And NBC News Now will carry that hearing live. Our coverage begins at 12:30. And now to that landmark verdict ordering InfoWars owner Alex Jones to pay nearly $1 billion in damages to 8 families of the Sandy Hook victims. Here's NBC News correspondent Rahima Ellis.
Conspiracy theorist and talk show host Alex Jones learned once again there can be massive penalties for making false claims.
Have you agreed upon a verdict?
Yes.
In a unanimous verdict, the jury declaring Alex Jones must pay $965 million to the families of 8 Sandy Hook victims and an FBI agent. Emotional relief in the court as the verdict was read.
After almost a decade of threats and messages from conspiracy theorists led by Jones, this is a moment years in the making.
Jones was not in the courtroom for the verdict, but immediately reacted on his online show, calling the attorneys for the victims' families ambulance chasers and mocking the verdict.
57 million, 20 million, 50 million, 80 million, 100 million, blah, blah. You get $1 million, you get 100 million, you get 50 million.
26 people were killed in the Sandy Hook Elementary School, including 20 first graders. Several family members testified in the Connecticut courtroom about intense harassment, death, and rape threats.
It is a constant fear.
From followers of conspiracy theorist Alex Jones, who claimed for years the massacre was a hoax. Mark Barton described the emotional stress of learning Jones' followers even focused on his son Daniel's gravesite.
And to hear that people were desecrating it and urinating on it and threatening to dig it up. I don't know how to articulate to you what that feels like.
Carly Soto's sister, Vicky, was one of the teachers killed.
It's crippling. You can't grieve properly because you're constantly defending yourself and your family and your loved ones.
After years of falsely claiming on his InfoWars show the shooting didn't happen, Jones conceding this past summer while testifying in a Texas court, the Sandy Hook tragedy was real. That jury awarding the parents of one victim almost $50 million in damages. But in the Connecticut courtroom,
and I'm done saying I'm sorry,
a combative Jones defending his false claim.
But I legitimately thought it might have been staged, and I stand by that, and I don't apologize for it.
Jones's lawyers say he plans to appeal, but his legal troubles are far from over. He faces another trial back in Texas involving more parents suing him over his false conspiracy claims. Back to you.
All right, Rahima, thank you so much. And now let's bring in NBC News legal analyst Danny Ceballos for more on this verdict. Hey, Danny, always good to see you. So nearly $1 billion. I mean, that is a lot of money, and we actually already heard defiance from Jones about this yesterday on his show. As this verdict was being read, he said, ain't going to be happening, ain't no money. We know now also that he's filed bankruptcy in connection with his production company. So how does this work? Will he actually have to pay that full amount, that nearly $1 billion? Is there a way to ensure that he does and that those families get that money?
This is such an old move by defendants. It's almost ancient to claim that I just don't have any money to pay that judgment. But when you look a little closer, you find that what they consider no money isn't necessarily no money because they're assets that could be liquidated. But Jones will certainly appeal. That will cause a delay. And then the appeals court in Connecticut will look at whether or not the verdict was excessive or obviously excessive. And to give you an idea, just last week, a Connecticut court awarded another injury victim, a man who was paralyzed, $100 million. Reportedly, that is the largest verdict in Connecticut ever. So when a court is next looking to see if this is an excessive verdict, will they take that as their standard? It's hard to say.
Danny, I'm wondering, does this decision mean anything more broadly here when we think about these conspiracy theories, false narratives, which have really exploded in recent years given social media and everything we've seen with the internet? Does this mean anything for commentators that push things like that?
In theory, this creates a new standard or could be a precedential case going forward. But practically, I don't think so. And I may be in the minority, and here's why. The vast majority of defamation cases never make it to court. Most of the people who defame other people or say outrageous things have no assets that are worthwhile hiring an attorney and going after. There's maniacs that live in their mom's basement and don't have any assets at all. So will this change the landscape of defamation law? Yes, in theory, but practically speaking, most of the people out there doing the defaming are what we call judgment proof. A sad reality is that if they have no assets to pay, it's often not worth suing them.
Danny, let's talk about what's next for these families. I mean, you watch these impact statements, they're just absolutely heartbreaking, and you think maybe this gives them a little bit of something, the ability to somehow move on, find some closure there. And then we know, like, as you just mentioned, that Jones is planning to appeal this verdict. What does that mean? How long does this take? What happens next?
Hopefully, the plaintiff's attorneys have prepared their clients for the fact that even though you just heard an unbelievable verdict, a favorable verdict, the money is not in the bank. And it may not be in the bank for years, if ever. And hopefully they've been prepped for that. And that's just a reality of plaintiffs' work, that defendants do all kinds of things to avoid paying, to delay paying, to go into bankruptcy, to shield assets. It happens all the time. That's why, frankly, most attorneys would much prefer to go after an insurance policy than somebody's individual assets. It's a lot easier to go after a policy than to liquidate a home or find hidden assets in some offshore account.
Danny Ceballos, as always, thank you so much. We appreciate your analysis.
Turning now to the sentencing for the Parkland school shooter Nikolas Cruz. A jury begins day 2 of deliberations today. Here's NBC News correspondent Carrie Sanders.
The 12-member jury in the Nikolas Cruz trial will resume again today in their deliberations after spending almost a full day. Again, this is not about guilt or innocence. This is simply about whether Nikolas Cruz should be sentenced to life in prison or to death. He's the gunman responsible 4 years ago for going to Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School and shooting and killing 17 on the campus, as well as attempting to kill 17 others, attempted murder. The trial here has been going on since July. It is a process that has been extremely difficult on the families of those who lost loved ones, many of them telling us they would like to see the death penalty. The jurors have requested to see the AR-15 style weapon that the gunman used. The judge, along with the sheriff, is trying to figure out how they will give the jurors that weapon, but at the same time make sure, even though it's unloaded, that everything remains safe.
Carrie, thank you for that. And turning now to the state of the economy and the impact inflation is having on your bottom line. Today's Consumer Price Index report will show if the high costs of everyday needs like food and rent will go down anytime soon, and if they might cause more pain for the economy in the coming months. NBC News correspondent Tom Costello joins us now with more. Hey, good morning, Tom.
Yeah, good morning. I think the short answer is no, it's not going down, and yes, it's going to cause more pain. We are waiting for these numbers to come out, 8:30 Eastern time. The bottom line from most experts is that inflation is not going anywhere anytime soon. President Biden, of course, trying to downplay the possibility of a recession, putting the spotlight back on the Federal Reserve as we wait to see if it will continue to hike interest rates in its ongoing effort to keep inflation or try to get inflation under control.
With America's collective wallet already stretched thin, there are new signs this morning that decades-high inflation remains red hot, with no immediate signs of slowing down. That's prompted the influential International Monetary Fund, the IMF, to downgrade its forecast for global growth in the coming year.
In short, the worst is yet to come, and for many people, 2023 will feel like a recession.
The IMF cites global inflation, Russia's ongoing war in Ukraine, and COVID-related slowdowns in China as key factors impacting the global economy. President Biden, saying the country's jobs market remains strong, now admits a recession could be in the cards.
I don't think there will be a recession. If it is, it'll be a very slight recession. That is, we'll move down slightly.
And while Americans are paying more for gas, groceries, and other goods, so are the companies that make those products we all consume, with wholesale costs rising again in September.
What this report tells us is that consumers are still dealing with higher food and higher energy costs. Gas prices are once again climbing. That's taking aim at U.S. household budgets.
The latest inflation report out today will be the last snapshot before next month's pivotal midterms and control of Congress. A recent NBC News poll found the economy and the cost of living are among the top 3 issues for voters. The Federal Reserve, which meets in a few weeks, is poised to once again increase interest rates by another 3/4 of a point, further impacting credit cards and personal loans, and mortgage rates too, which are at a 16-year high. But real estate experts say there is a silver lining for some buyers.
What we're seeing right now is there are a lot of opportunities for buyers who can afford to stay in this market to see less competition, more options, and more negotiating power.
All right, there's the silver lining. Our real estate expert also says there are actually lots of programs out there that can help some folks with their down payments, depending on where they live and their income levels. In fact, she says they actually can save you quite a bit of money. But your mortgage rates are likely to be higher because we have the interest rates going higher. Guys, back to you.
All right, Tom. Thanks for that breakdown. Appreciate it.
Now let's turn to your weather. Some parts of the country, like I think ours right here, are expecting some storms today.
Yeah, it's going to be like dreary, wet, windy. Kathy, I'm so happy to be talking to you about weather when you're inside.
Yeah, I know. It's so nice.
I was thinking
I'm not
freezing.
I'm dry.
When we were down in Florida,
you get to
also.
sit down.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be wet. It's going to be windy. Winds gusting near 40 miles per hour at times and really heavy downpours. So it's all due to a cold front. You can see on radar, we're already looking at some really heavy rainfall right now. We're looking at lightning, hearing some thunder in the southeast. So portions of Georgia into South Carolina, along the Carolina coast too, into the northeast and mid-Atlantic. We will be watching rain falling pretty much all afternoon into the evening hours. Where you see these brighter colors, that's where we're seeing the heaviest downpours. And we could see flash flooding as we go throughout the daytime hours, certainly some airport delays. I'll show you that in just a few minutes. But first, the impact of heavy rain, rounds of downpours we're going to see, especially this late afternoon. It's going to extend into the morning parts of Friday. New England is going to get hung up there, so we could see 4 inches of rain in spots there. We could see rainfall rates of 1 inch. We have a lot of moisture in the atmosphere, and we could see nearly 4, maybe 5 inches of rain. The likeliest spot for some flooding is in this darker blue, where we're looking in portions of upstate New York into New England, so Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, and also Connecticut and Massachusetts. Winds will be gusting too. Winds gusting up to 40 miles per hour in Nantucket, 36 miles per hour in portions of Long Island, 27 miles per hour in New York City. And that could lead to some power outages. We still have leaves on the trees, so any sort of wet ground can bring those trees down, and we're going to watch that as we head throughout the day. And then this will end here because this is a big thing as we're traveling today.
Yeah.
I know Savannah hates the airports, and when there's a delay, we could see some delays all up and down the coast.
Shocking.
I know. Head out early if you can.
It's not for one reason, it's for another. All right, Michelle, thank you. Sure. We'll see you in a little bit. Stay dry.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.